is Miss Ntabi Mokhozi. Good afternoon, Ntabi. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm very good, and how are you?
I'm okay. I'm happy to say this is not really the first time I had to meet you. I remember back in 2014 or 2015, but the face looks familiar.
I'm sure we met. I'm sure we met. One way or the other.
All right, now before we get into anything, right, you are a TUT graduate as well, right?
That's correct.
And you are a qualified senior web developer and designer.
That's
now,
correct.
I'm going to imply that you studied something to do with ICT. Which course did you do with TUT?
So I did web applications and development with TUT. So I am a product of TUT. So I have a diploma. I started my BTech, and I'll confess I didn't finish it because I had car accidents happening along the way. But it's something that didn't stop me from, continuing and growing my skills in whatever field that I got to learn. So there's just so much that I was able to still do in the process. But web application and development was my major.
My discussion with you, I want to take it towards women empowerment. You are a creative designer, you're an entrepreneur, brand builder, and a motivator. I've also read that you are a face behind 2 companies. Please tell us more about those.
Okay, so Ntabi is a brand, brains behind IL Design's creative approach, which is a design business, design agency that offers branding solutions. So that is what we do. And the whole approach is to give a creative approach, unique approach to all businesses, even brands, even like specific personal brands. Because, when we think of business, you on your own, you can actually be a business. So sometimes people think of it as having like a standard office somewhere, but you can have your brand and you representing your brand. Now it's 2 businesses, but all these other businesses, they are under IL Design. So IL Design is the main business. So within the business, I have built a brand, Real Talk with Ntabi, which is a brand under the company. But now it is funded by the business, and at the same time I have monetized it in a way. But now Bully brand, on the other hand, which is now an online store, I've converted it into an online store, was fully funded by IL Design's creative approach, which focuses on empowering women in terms of the products that we have, from the t-shirts that we have to also the earrings, like whatever match that we are selling. But more than anything, our core business is really IL Designs, because that is the baby that I got to give birth while I was still at TUT, while I was still a student. When students were lazy to do their assignments, they would come to me and say, can you do this system for me, because I need to submit this assignment. And I would put a price for that, and I could see that they were paying, and I was like, actually I can convert this into a great business. So how can I go about it? Then I started finding ways to really monetize it while I was still a student, without obviously letting it interfere with my studies and anything. So yeah, that's basically the 2 businesses.
So that's something that you started while you were a student. Did you get to a point where after graduating you had to look for a job, and did you have any challenges looking for a job? Or you just decided after graduating, this is what I'm going to focus on, since I've been working on it
Excuse me, there was a bit of noise. I didn't hear you clearly. I think there's someone who's not muted.
The business that you started, you were still a student,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So now, did you had to be one of those unemployed students after your graduation looking for a job? Did you have a challenge looking for a job, or you just decided, I've been working on this, let me just go ahead and start my business without having to look for a job?
Oh wow! You know what? I got to be very fortunate while I was still studying, because I think already I had a business mindset from the get-go, and I even got to have great opportunities within the institution before I could even get out and start getting jobs. So what happened was, when I was still in second year, I got to be appointed as a student assistant, where I was, teaching visual basics. And that was, something that I would do twice in a week. And that would pay me around, 750 to 1,000, depending on like how long I'll be working and all of that. So that is basically how it started. It wasn't really a struggle for me, because already when I was in second year, I could already, start making money. But then it didn't stop there. I was also keen on wanting to know more, wanting to learn more, and grabbing every opportunity possible, to a point where I even taught, foundation student computer literacy. And I got to be like employed for, have a contract with the ICT department, which was something great for me. And right after that, I was given also an opportunity to go work at corporate affairs at the main campus in Pretoria. So I was able to work there, as obviously focusing on corporate and marketing, being an assistant, and taking care of the university website, the e-tutors, and all of those things. So that was, a mindset that I had, to say, I can't just, use my skills to say, okay, I'm just going to study and just strictly go and look for a job. I had to say, okay, all the things that I'm learning, how can I still utilize the skills within the environment that I'm in? So I was always curious. They usually say that, but papa. So now I consider myself to be that person, get papa, and then get papa like whether they can benefit me. So that's the approach that I had, to be curious, to be fascinated about how things happen. And I think all of that really helped me to shape my business mindset, and not only that, to build my skills even more, because not only was I shaping my path in terms of a role that I will get out of the qualification that I've had, but also for my own business, how to manage money, knowing how to manage, as an entrepreneur, managing money is very important. If you don't know where each and every cent goes, already you have a problem, because money is going to come in, money is going to go out, and you won't know what's happening. So those are the principles that I got to learn in the process.
Now, many businesses don't always survive. People can start things, and before you know it, they just close down because of many different challenges. Did you encounter any challenges as you were in your business, as you were getting it together to where it is today?
All right. So I've encountered many, many challenges, and I can still tell you that even today, I won't say that there are no challenges in business. So I've encountered a lot, and some of those were okay. So it was a confusion of, okay, I have a business and I have an 8 to 5. How do I juggle all of this? And how do I, really grow my business and as an entrepreneur, and really give it enough effort, enough attention, and still grow? Because the challenge is that when you think of a business, you think of growing it, but the growth of a business is all dependent on how you can scale it, how you can make profit. So now I had to look at that, and as a startup, it was difficult to really get business just like that. So it means there had to be a good balance. So I had to balance and juggle both. It wasn't easy, because at the same time I was studying. It wasn't really easy, but I was able to do that. But now this is something that I had to really think about, and especially as because I can tell you now, a couple of years ago, and I think even this will help someone who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur. A couple of years ago, entrepreneurship was glorified in a way that when you are called an entrepreneur, that title on its own, it was made to feel like you have arrived or something like that. And the challenge with that is that you get to have the pressure of wanting to tell people how you own a business, how you run your own business, and just be glorified for that. But what happens in the business is really what matters the most. So I had to take a decision. And this is a decision that I took while obviously studying. And even when I had great jobs that I had, like I had to have that introspection of, should I quit my business or should I still work on it and still have another job? So I had to balance the two. And I decided, no, I will run my business part time because this is a legacy that I want to create. I'm not a serial entrepreneur, meaning I won't just build a business to just give it away. But the whole idea is to build an empire and grow other businesses within that. So now this is how I looked at it, to say I can work part time and be honest with my clients, because I think another thing about growing a business is that you need to have a good relationship with your clients, good relationship with whoever, the consumers, whoever you are partnering with when it comes to business, and be honest as possible, because if you don't deliver, it becomes a problem. You're breaking that promise and you're not building that long-term relationship. So I had to be clear that I'm going to run my business part-time. Then, I'll do your work maybe more on weekends. If I'm able to deliver this day, I'll do that. So you become clear. But all of that happened, and I got to reach a point when the business was now growing and growing. And I mean, IL Designs is now on 6 years operating, and now it's grown and I've got more clients. I work with companies, and I got to now realize that it can't be running part-time all the time. I need to now focus on it. That's when I decided to quit my job. But all of that was obviously supported by the fact that I had to really go through the most. So those were the challenges that were there. And obviously losing clients is one big challenge when it comes to business. I lost clients and I had to take decisions to say, I'm going to let go of clients. And the nature of my business as a designer, as a, graphic web designer, most of the time you get clients that don't know what they want, or somehow when you explain to them, they tend to be okay. After a while they decide, no, I don't think this is what I wanted, and sometimes they don't even want to pay. So I was like, I would rather have 10 clients that are willing to work with me and pay for their services than to have more clients that will cost me more. So yeah, challenges are a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship, but I think that's a few that I can mention.
Please correct me if I heard you correctly. You mentioned that you have moved into an online store, right?
So that is the other part of the business. Well,
the other part of the business.
Yeah. So the Booby brand, which I sell, like this earrings right there, is part of what I'm selling, and I sell t-shirts as well. And also IL Designs, the online side of it is that I now currently work with other international, clients where I would design services for them. Things like design website. It's nice because it's digital. You can do it anywhere, anyhow. So I had to really incorporate that, especially now that we look at how, the pandemic has really shifted things around. And I was able to really look at how I can digitalize it even more, because I've always been digital. Digital has always been like my language. A lot of people that are not in the digital space are only discovering it, the importance of it now, but it has always been there. I mean, that's something that we need to take note of. Even when I was in TUT studying, I got to learn about e-commerce, how to create a website, an e-commerce website, so selling online and all of that. So yes, I do have that business where you can purchase online.
That's one of the topics that I want to talk about now. We see COVID-19 came into our lives and it shifted e-commerce ahead many times. Now, in the beginning, it was tough, but as time goes by, I think many people are more comfortable with the online purchase. They're finding them much easier than the other purchase, which is a good thing that you already have a store online. And people are really already familiarizing themselves with this kind of topics. Now, as we know, most people, or the people who are most impacted by social change, are women. You look at the salary scales between women and men, they are not the same. Boardrooms are not much more representatives of women. Now we have women out there who have the brains, the ideas that they want to start something. What advice would you give them?
All right. So, woman to woman, I can tell you that when I got to work in corporate and other agencies and everything, I got to experience being the only woman being a part of the team, and I got to experience that thing of not being valued more than the men, and even my voice trying like being tried like being deemed, because obviously I'm a woman. Even the ideas that I would come up with, they can be considered last, even though sometimes they would win, so it was quite an issue there. But what I can say to women is that things have changed, the ball has changed, and we are not going to just limit our capabilities as women just because it's known that men have to take the lead. I can tell you this: a leader is someone who is able to bring change. A leader is someone who can make a difference. A leader is someone who can make a difference. So whether it's a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. The skill that I have compared to another man is no different. It's no different. If I can sit as a CEO of a company and make decisions as a woman, then I should be listened to. And another thing, I don't want women to really feel sorry for themselves, or to even, continue with this conversation of we are not really considered. You need to stand firm in what you believe in. If you walk into an industry, or if you come with your company and say, this is what I can offer your company and all of that, if they don't buy into what you're saying, or they undermine the fact that you're a woman, make sure that you set the record straight in terms of who you're about, what you're doing, because your level of skills and what you've acquired really speaks on your behalf. And if the work speaks for you, you can't even really negotiate. If it's something that is not supported, then you can just leave and, go find something else. And another thing is not just about building a business or just going in to make money, but it's also about, am I respected? Am I valued? Is my value being seen in the business? Am I able to just jump in there and be listened to the right way, and not walk out and then they're like, I can't listen to that woman. And things have changed. And I'm glad to also say that a lot of companies, a lot of entrepreneurs have grown to outgrow that part of undermining the power of women. As women, we are powerful, we are able, nothing can stop us. We can just do whatever. So don't limit yourself. And even if a person says no, leave knowing exactly that you have left your right mark. Even when you have left, they'll know who you are, and they'll see you, because you are not going to go down. You're only going up.
All right, now I'm already running way out of time, but I have this one question that I want to ask quickly. You have always been digital. Now, for young women, they want to start business. We are into the digital space now. Most things are happening online. I see. Correct me if you have a YouTube page where I don't know. I saw it somewhere because
Yes.
I did quite a lot of research. Now I just want to understand, with the YouTube page, are you like advising or teaching women how they can market product digitally?
All right, so my YouTube channel, the whole objective is to empower and transform. So I do teach, and if you allow me, let me tell you the most amazing thing that I did during the beginning of a pandemic. So what I did, I started doing what we call let's talk business over coffee. That's why I always have coffee. It's more of my signature type of thing. So I started a conversation where I spoke to businesses, to people that want to start businesses, tell them exactly what they need to do in the digital space. I even have a page on Facebook called Digital Boss, where we talk about everything digital. So I do educate as much as I can share my lifestyle in terms of vlogs and everything, but it's mainly to talk about business empowerment, motivation. So it's there to really help you scale, help you to become, a better business person. So definitely, a lot of people have seen growth in terms of them checking out my work, and they have developed themselves. They have even got to work with me, and I'm also doing it as a form of building my brand even more, or scaling it up, or just going globally, because something about technology, guys, and being digital is that you have an opportunity to work with various clients, to work with all people across the globe, because right now you can't limit your business to say, I'm just going to work with people just around Pretoria, just around Gauteng. You can just work around the world. So that is the beauty of it. So please go subscribe. It's Real Talk with Nthabi.
Thank you so much, Nthabi, for your time.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it and hope it helps someone.
All right, that is Nthabi Mokhosi, which is also one of the TUT graduates, and entrepreneurship is really doing wonders. Now we have to move into our next speaker.
Hey guys, so I am done with my interview. What are you guys saying? Let's see. Thumbs up. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. So I'm done with my part. I'm done with my part. So I think what I can say right now is to really, I don't think we really answered the question. I don't think we really answered the question of how are we reimagining, entrepreneurship. I don't think we really answered that question, but I think, based on the questions that were posed to me, I don't think we really touched a lot on that. But I think, when I think of, reimagining entrepreneurship post the pandemic, I think of a lot of things in terms of how things are working at the moment and how we can really change things around. And, when you think about entrepreneurship, especially in high institutions, there is a huge role that needs to be played. And that role is to really look into how we reshape, technology on its own, how we reshape the way of doing things. And, even how, students are taught in universities. It's very important for each and every one to take note of how, for example, the education system is built, how it's done, meaning how do we as teachers, how do we as institutions really shift away from doing things the old way and moving on to the new ways of doing things, right? Oh my God, yes. Okay, I think I lost my train of thought. I feel like there's just so much that was not really discussed. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. We need to really look at how, institutions are conducting their teachings and how they are shaping entrepreneurs to really become better or to become, ready to actually be ready for what's about to come. And, in a point of like embracing change, I feel like each and every, not just an institution, each and every entrepreneur or any entrepreneurs, they really need to consider a concept of really embracing change. And embracing change would mean that they really have to understand that each and every time something will happen, and chances are, like, this pandemic can go on for a long time. It can go on for a couple of years. And the fact that that's still going to happen, it's a question of how do we embrace change? How do we embrace doing things differently in the business, in all businesses? And, also embracing change helps you to be ready for just about anything that is going to happen. Because in my understanding, when you, stop working on yourself, when you stop working on your craft, when you stop working on, I'm trying not to make a mistake of pressing the mic or anything like that. When you stop, growing, or stop looking at how businesses are scaling, how businesses are growing out there, you get to be stagnant, and that really hurts the business. Hola, hey David. Hey, David, thank you so much. I missed your show, David, and mainly because I am currently doing this, and this is an entrepreneurship conversation that we're having. I'm still on, so I've been muted. So at this point, I just need to, have a conversation with you guys and not leave you hanging. So, okay, yeah. So basically, I am, in two places at the same time, but I'll definitely catch up on your show, David. I'm sure it was amazing as always. But so the point that I want to put across is that, when you think about entrepreneurship, now let's talk entrepreneurship 101. Now, this is an act of, creating a business, and not just creating a business, but you want to also somehow scale your business and, get profit or make profit out of the business, which is something that is important, because at the end of the day, the reason why you're becoming an entrepreneur or you're starting a business or businesses is because you wanted to grow, you wanted to be profitable, and you can even go grow or multiply businesses, right? Now, there are different types of businesses, which can be a small, large, a medium, can be, someone hustling. That is, types of entrepreneurship on its own. So that is entrepreneurship on its own. So there's just so many entrepreneurship, what different types of entrepreneurship, or basically that different types of entrepreneurs, basically. I'm all over the place. Different types of entrepreneurs. So whether you're a small, you're a medium, you're a serial entrepreneur, you are all hoping to really have a business and sell it and everything. My point is, you can actually understand the fact that for you to grow, you need to adapt to change. You need to embrace the change regardless. And something about entrepreneurship is that you are not the main important thing. As a leader or as a business owner, your customers or your clientele, the people that you are serving, the customers that you are giving value to, are the most important, in terms of how, you shape your business. And when you think of how this pandemic has just caused a lot of chaos, crisis, in terms of entrepreneurs really losing out on money, entrepreneurs having to scale down, entrepreneurs having to lose some of the, or just, let go of some of the teammates or something like that. And some actually had to shut down, which is like a huge problem, huge problem. Now, when you think about that, you realize that entrepreneurship is not only about you as an entrepreneur, but it also involves the person that you give offering the service to, a person who's going to help you to really to really make profit out of what you are providing. Now, if we can talk about the entrepreneurship crisis, and when you think of entrepreneurship crisis, I think it's very important to, because remember that we are reimagining entrepreneurship post COVID or post the pandemic, right? So what I want to say to you is that it's important to take note of the risks, or the crisis itself. Now, most of the crisis or the risks that entrepreneurs are going through, it's the risk of liquidity risk, losing out on money, being on debts, or like the cash flow of the business, just all of that. Because there are companies that are not self-funded. There are entrepreneurs that are not self-funded. They had to actually go out there and make means to get money, or borrow money from banks and everything like that. Now, when a pandemic comes like this, the business is slow, they really can't do anything. It's a question of how are we going to go about it? How are we going to go about it? So it's really something that needs to be taken into account. All right. Now, when you think of this crisis, often, as a business or as an entrepreneur, you think, oh, okay, what am I going to do? It's always about what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? As much as it's like that, for you to really reimagine how the future will be, it's me asking you to also apply that thing of, because I've said this a couple of times, that as a business or as an entrepreneur, as someone who offers value or savers to other people, it's very important that you apply this model. I call it a model, you need to master the art of dating your clients. And mastering the art of dating your clients means that you check out on how your clients are doing. You find out exactly where they are, how they are doing, how their business is going, and how you can help them. You date your clients in terms of meeting up for coffee, and meeting up for coffee can be through a Zoom call, because we know that the pandemic has stopped us to really meet up. You can meet over coffee through a Zoom call and be like, hello, I've got my coffee, you've got your coffee, let's have a conversation. How are you doing? How is your business doing? Let's talk about it. Are you good? How is the pandemic affecting you? Are you getting to a level where you are growing, or you are challenged? What is happening? How can we work around it? And also offering value. Value is very important, guys. I cannot stress this enough. Offering value is very important. Is the number one thing that you need to consider doing. Offer value to your clients. Offer value to your clients. And offering value means that not only are you focused on just making money, but you need to educate your customers. You need to help your customers know what's what, so that at the end of the day, they can know that, okay, this is where you guys are. And at the end of the day, for you to also grow, they need to grow. If you instill value and knowledge, in a case of the business or the nature of the business that you're doing, you are able to make them aware of what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, which means they stay in business and you stay in business. You get me? They stay in business, you stay in business. And that is the most amazing thing. If you can grow with your clients, then that is the most important thing. And something that is usually ignored is, the clients, the team, the culture of the business, and the commitment from everyone. It's so important that if you build a team, or if you build, your team is not just a team of the people that work for you, but a team is also those customers that you have. Those are part of the team, because they make things happen for you by them bringing in business. So it's teamwork already. So you can't ignore such people. You can't ignore that person who keeps making sure that the business is running. You can't keep ignoring, because if you are a boss and you're always in the office and you see things happening, but you don't pay attention to that particular person who keeps doing things, then there's a problem. There is a problem. Let me hear what they're saying.
It's people that we used to go to school with, and it's a little bit difficult.
Okay, no, they're talking. Let me just continue. So, honestly, guys, I feel like the future of, or how we can reimagine entrepreneurship post this pandemic, is honestly to understand that we can't keep doing things the same way. We can't keep doing things the same way. And me saying that, I wanted to also take into account with the fact that a lot of businesses are still struggling in terms of adapting to change. So businesses should really adapt to change.
We're going to be having our last speaker for the day before we get to wrap the program up. So unfortunately, due to time, I won't be able to be taking any questions. But our last speaker, his name is Mr. Pilani Shatwayo. He is a practitioner at SGLD and also a co-host on.
All right, so they're going into the last speaker, and I'm hoping that I will really get to speak about reimagining entrepreneurship in the long run. Because honestly, that's the thing, guys. We can't really say that we are building the future of businesses. We are building the future of businesses if we cannot adapt to change. We can't say there's a future for even upcoming entrepreneurs if we are not really reimagining things the best way possible, starting from all these institutions. Every institution needs to think of how they can apply entrepreneurship in the program and really help students or learners to be able to work around entrepreneurship on its own, in terms of identifying methods of how future entrepreneurs can grow, or maybe even within the institution, for models to be built using whatever curriculum that is available that will help the institutions grow. Like, I mean, there are a couple of entrepreneurs that got to build, I think, was it an electric car or something like that? So something like that, if something like that can be built and it can really be profitable for the institution and for the entrepreneurs, then that is something that is beautiful. I mean, that is something that can be really beautiful, and it can not only benefit the institution, but it can also benefit the entrepreneur. Now, to wrap this up, because I think I can actually wrap this up. I'm not sure, but actually, let me not wrap this up. I promise I'll just have to cut out the parts that where I was not engaging on. But I think what I can say is that at this moment, entrepreneurship, honestly, there's just a crisis at the moment. And this crisis needs to be looked into in a digital way as to how can we take advantage of digital and make our businesses grow. So how do you take advantage of digital platforms to really help your business grow? That is the first question that you need to ask yourself. Are you doing enough in terms of helping your business grow? Not only you as an entrepreneur, but you as a brand, you as an individual brand, how do you get to take advantage of all these other platforms? I mean, I personally, because the host was asking the question, and the question was, how am I, let's see, so the question was, how am I, what was the question again? Losing my train of thought. So I think the question was around how have I, managed to work around my business with other clients and everything. So my answer was, I obviously got to see many opportunities. No, she was asking about my YouTube channel, as to what am I offering on my YouTube channel. And I did say it's obviously empowerment and transformation and offering value to other people, because that is something that is very important. Offer value. Don't just do something for the sake of doing it. Offer value. Offer value. Offering value is quite important, guys. Offering value is quite important. Never stop giving value to other businesses. Never stop giving value to your potential customers. Never stop giving value to whoever who can buy into whatever that you're doing. All right. So even if you want to monetize or grow whatever that you have, please take into account that you as a brand, you need to build your platform, platform in a way that it will be of benefit to other people. It will be of benefit on other people. So when I started Entrepreneur Puzzle, which is an online magazine, so the whole point of Entrepreneur Puzzle was to honestly help entrepreneurs in terms of finding their way, in terms of what they do, how they do it. Now, I want you to take note of the fact that Entrepreneur Puzzle is allowing you as an entrepreneur to really work on yourself, work on understanding what entrepreneurship is about, and interacting.
Apply for a job Maybe they can try in to just squeeze the CV through, try their luck.
Yes, they can send their CVs to info@harvest-consultants.co.za. Info@harvest, HARVEST hyphen consultants, consultants.co.za. Harvest Pro, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Zulu, if you could share the contact details of your company, maybe where students can find the company, more information, and perhaps just drop in their CVs.
So people can find me on Tshwane, TOSACA.co.za. They can also just CC Atlehang at tosaka.co.za. They can just drop us an email there. And yeah, it's easy to say they must just send CVs. But for me, I don't even look at the CV. I look at the character, the personality. So people must work on themselves before they send a CV to us.
All right, thank you so much. Now, finally, Ms. Ntavi, you are there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry for that.
Yes. Please, you can repeat the information about the YouTube page, the contact details, and other platforms where students can get hold of you.
Okay, so students can get hold of me on my personal social media pages, all the platforms. I am Real Talk with Ntabi. And in terms of business, or maybe trying to know about design and everything, even if you need like training or in-service training, you can go to www.ildesigns.co.za. Even if you can DM on the other platforms, it makes it easier for me to connect with you. So Real Talk with Ntabi, all platforms.
All right, thank you so much. Now, to all our stakeholders and the students, somebody who will mentor you business-wise so that you get to be really trained.
I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting and editing. It's just been too much.
You know your story. And if you have any questions about funding, NYDA, and many other sponsors, but you don't really need to always think about the funding.
So, but it's done now.
Thanks so much. So from us, this is all, and I would like to end here. Have a wonderful day. Mr. Chris, this is the end from my side. And thank you so much to all our guests for your input and taking time to join us into today's program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, have a lovely day, everyone.
Okay, so that's the end of it. What do we do? Do I hang up? Do we end this? What's happening? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna, okay. All right. So that was basically the end of it. Sorry, I had to. So it was the last part of it. Yes. So yeah, the conversation was super amazing, guys. I personally enjoyed it, but though I feel like there were questions that were not answered. I feel like there were questions that were not answered, but I'm gonna end this live right now and do a short live stream just to explain this part of reimagining entrepreneurship post COVID-19, because I feel like that was not fully answered. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate you. If you're going to be able to join in again when I do this short video, because you know the long live stream can be confusing. And with this one, I'm going to cut. Like I'm going to do so many cuts because like there were moments where I was silent and all of that. But thank you so much. And I will see you soon. Love you always. I can't end the live. Okay.